Apple has tonight launched the follow-up to the iPad, the iPad2, but it comes at a time when it faces increasing competition in the growing market for tablet computers. And a number of newspaper groups are threatening tonight to withdraw their content. Here's our technology correspondent, Benjamin Cohen.
Good morning.
This was the biggest surprise of today's announcement, that Steve Jobs delivered it in person.
We've been working on this product for a while, and I just didn't want to miss today, so thank you.
Looking gaunt, the founder and visionary leader of Apple was greeted by cheers of relief from the faithful. He's been on sick leave for more than a month, the second major leave of absence in 2 years. But he was well enough to announce the new version of the iPad, last year's breakthrough new gadget.
We haven't been resting on our laurels, because in less than a year, we're going to introduce today iPad2, the second generation iPad.
iPad 2 has 2 cameras and 2 processing chips, and it comes in 2 colours, black or white. Apple is hoping it can double up on the success of the first iPad. There have been more than 15 million iPads sold, and since it was announced, the company's share price has shot up by 69%, making Apple the second largest public company by market value, way ahead of its old rival Microsoft. With the iPad, Apple created a market for something no one knew they wanted, and there are now dozens of competitors. This is one of the real contenders for the tablet crown. It's from Motorola, and it's the first to be running Google's new operating system, specially designed to compete with Apple's iPad. And when you compare it to the original iPad, you'll see that they look pretty much the same. One feature on this device that's clearly missing from the first iPad is the inclusion of not 1, but 2 cameras, allowing you to have video chats with your friends. Microsoft is also on the case, with a new tablet operating system expected soon.
Once that competition really ramps up, then Apple's market share will certainly decline, and decline quite steeply. But its revenue, I think, will continue to be very, very high, and its market share in terms of how people think about tablets and what choices they're going to make when they're buying a tablet, I think that will retain the value that it has now.
Apple is also at risk of falling out with one of the big cheerleaders of the first iPad, the publishing industry, including the owners of the Financial Times, Pearson. They're angry at what they say are Apple's harsh terms of business, for instance, taking 30% of all newspaper subscriptions sold via their App Store. Google, on the other hand, who make the Android tablet software, ask for just 10%. At the launch of the first iPad, it was hailed as the saviour of the newspaper industry. Noticeably today, Steve Jobs didn't mention them once. While the fans were pleased to see Jobs return, long-term Apple investors are worried about how the health of the man who defines everything Apple does will affect the health of the company.